What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk to you guys about why I think Black Ops 6 Zombies is peak zombies. In my whole life, I've had the pleasure of playing over 10 installments and variations of Call of Duty Zombies. Some have been good, some have been bad, and some have been really bad, actually. And some have been the best time of my life. I have been through it all, good times and bad times. And sometimes I find myself asking the same old question. Which game has given us the best rendition of zombies? It's a question I come across every time a new game is dropped. Is this the best one? Where does this sit for me? Is this as good as the last? Like, what am I feeling? Like, how we feeling? How we feeling? And I don't like to compare, but it's so hard not to, because even when you try not to, you end up comparing, okay? And just like a lot of people in the zombies community, we ask ourselves, does this live up to the standard for zombies? Now, when it comes to Black Ops 6, I think I finally have an answer at this point in the game's life cycle. With the amount of time I have into it and just everything that I've experienced in Black Ops 6, I've came to the conclusion. But before I get into that, if you guys haven't already, make sure you drop a sub to the channel and leave a like on the video. It means a lot and I greatly appreciate it. I kind of went a while without uploading. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. So if you do like it, be sure to let me know so I know to keep making content like this. Without further ado, let me explain why I think Black Ops 6 Zombies is peak. Now, at the end of the day, the only thing that I really care about in Call of Duty Zombies is, when I play it, did I have fun? Am I having fun? That's all I care about, really and truly. I can't speak for everybody, and I know it's not the same, but if I'm having fun on a game, I'm having fun. I'm not super nitpicky. I like none of those things. Like, if it was fun, I liked it. There's not many zombie games that have come out in general that I don't enjoy. Let's just put it that way. I've basically enjoyed all of them. There's some I definitely did not play a lot and definitely didn't play at all. For the most part, there hasn't been one that I didn't like playing. I think a lot of this has to do with me as a person, that I just love gaming in general. I play so many different types of games. You guys would be surprised, probably. Really and truly. But yes, in the big year of 2025, in the massive 2025, I do think I enjoy playing this game at this point than I would Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 1 or World at War or Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare. Games of that nature. Now, the Zombies formula has changed a lot, and they are kind of changing their way, or they have been. And I'm not saying this is better or anything like that. Nothing like that, okay? In today's time and where I am, I have so much fun on Black Ops 6 that when I get on a game like World of War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, I feel like there's just not a whole lot to do. Now, not in the sense of there's a bunch of challenges and objectives and stuff like that, but like, it's just so bare bones. And like Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, as good as they are, they just, and maybe it's my age, but I just don't have as much fun as when I do hop on Black Ops 6. Now, my 17-year-old self will be laughing at me, but it's fine, I digress. However, I find this game really fun, and on top of that, I think Black Ops 6 is very replayable. Very replayable. It is very friendly and also very challenging. Now, that's kind of where I have some issues with this game, and kind of how I always have, and I'll talk about that later. But the amount of stuff this version of Zombies brings us to the table just makes it so much fun for me. You have the augments that let you change your perks, your build upgrades, everything like that. And you can adjust them to different play styles and try out different things that make the game last a little bit longer. Field upgrades, such a nice addition that they have and just continue to increase upon. The seasonal events in the limited time modes, the Easter eggs, although they are not the same Easter eggs that we used to get, I still really enjoy them, especially the boss fights. Like I said, I'm simple. I like the directed mode. The camo grind is always fun. Having something to grind for is awesome. The fact that they brought back a prestige where you can actually grind prestiges is really fun. I like getting calling cards and doing objectives. I'm really big on that kind of stuff. So the fact that you can do that in these newer games, I really like. I think the high rounds are actually really fun. Now, I don't think they're as easy as everyone says, but maybe I'm just bad, but I do like them. I think they are easy in a way, yet they are very hard in a way. You get plenty of perks, there's no perk limit, just all kinds of little things. I mean, there's just so many little things that I like, and really, the way newer CODs are set up, where they are more friendly to newer players and a wider audience to get more people playing zombies, I actually really like. I think that's a good idea. I know a lot of people don't like that, and I can understand why from a standpoint of, you want it to be how it's always been, and that's fine. But when it comes to a perspective of the company itself, how can we make the game mode that a lot of people love and we love, how can we make that game mode more accessible, more friendlier for people to follow along and get into it that aren't normally into zombies. A lot of people think of zombies as boring. That's just how it is. They think it's boring. They get to around 20 or 30 even, and they're like, well, that's it. That's zombies. All right, I played one, I played them all. And I know people like that, and it's crazy to me that they think like that, but that's just how it is. And I think with how they've kind of turned things around lately, it lets people like that have more of a reason to play. And maybe that doesn't make sense, but to me it does. Now, don't get me wrong, there are things with this game that I don't like, and it's very annoying, but for the most part, I enjoy it. I don't want to compare this to previous titles, so I'm going to try not to, because I think at this point in time, it's just not very fair to compare games, this game, to a game that's over 10 years old. They're so different. They're basically made by completely different everything. It's not trying to be one thing or the other. This game is what it is. Now, all that being said, this game has issues. One of my biggest issues with Black Ops 6 in general, and it obviously lingers into zombies, is the inclusion of so much AI. It is just ridiculous. You go to the store, every bundle, the AI emblems and AI calling cards and AI sprays and AI everything to the AI voice lines. It's just a little ridiculous, and you can absolutely tell what is AI and what's not. Like, it's not hard to tell. I think you all know what I'm talking about. I don't know a whole lot of the politics on the game. I try not to keep up with it. I just see what happens to show up across my Twitter feed. But when it comes to things like voice lines, that's a pretty big deal in my opinion. I really don't like that they're doing that when they could easily get people to do that and have tons of unique ones for everybody. That's very possible. They could absolutely do that, but yet they choose not to. They choose to use the same ones, AI over it, and there you go. Slap it in the game. As I said earlier, one of the things I truly don't understand in this game is why they have made training non-existent and solo high rounds so challenging. This is kind of the conundrum I have. For starters, I feel like they did away with actual training spots. Now, I don't think they even really have training in mind when they make these maps. Now, you may think I'm crazy, but really, I feel like every map that I've played and sat down and thought of, they don't have the same formulaic training spots. And honestly, once you figure out how the game's played and you kind of see the way the game is, it makes sense. It kind of all ties together because the game's just so different. With the point system being different, the way they make the maps, the designs themselves, it's all just different than what they used to do because they're going in that direction. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of misinterpret or don't really understand why. Like, I see other people saying like, I need the old point system. It just doesn't make sense. It's like, well, if you had the old point system in this game, it wouldn't really make sense. And if you didn't have armor and zombies in this version of zombies, it wouldn't really make sense. You couldn't do it without the armor. I mean, it would just be insane. But back to the training and high rounds. The maps just lack those spots, and maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like they are all just faux and just temporary places to run around in until the super sprinters that start on round 40, 45, 50 just catch up to you. And they won't ruin your game, but they make it difficult, especially in the high rounds. Something that we used to do back in the day, training into traps is a strategy that has always been a thing. High round trap strats have always been a thing. But here lately, I feel like it's not. And I can't speak for all the newer Call of Duties, like the Vanguards, like the Modern Warfare Z, Modern Warfare Zombies, and things of that nature. Cold War, maybe even a little bit, I don't remember. But I feel like there's not that. And it's not just because of the way the zombies spawn. I think it has a lot to do with how many elite zombies spawn and special zombies spawn at a time. Most of them just run straight through it, and it just doesn't seem to have the same punch. And it feels like, again, they don't even really make the traps for this strategy. Maybe I'm not looking for them, or maybe I'm just not seeing the vision. But for me, it just doesn't feel like that's what they do. I feel like in this game, traps are just about as useless as they have ever been. I rarely ever find myself using a trap, and when I do, the only one I really like is the Darth Aether fields that make the fields pop up and it slows them down and kind of kills them, like on Liberty Falls. I know there's one in Shattered Veil down underneath where Wonder Fizz is, but those are kind of my favorite traps. Maybe they're not the best, but those are the ones I feel have been the most useful. But it's not a trap that like the Flogger, you know, something like that, which they're not trying to make a trap like that, I don't think. But yeah, super sprinters just make it hard. They're hard to kill. You cannot stop, and you will be getting smacked. Hence why the armor system is so important. And maybe I'm washed. Guys, in this game, not to toot my own horn, but I've been to 100 on 3 of the maps and 70 plus on the rest. I've been to 70 plus on all of them. So like, I'm familiar with the high rounds. But when it comes to playing these in solo, they just almost seem a little unreal. Even with the augments, perked out guns, armor, etc., the game feels more focused on camping strategies and co-op strategies. Now, I think this is centered around the fact that they want the game to be more playable for everyone. So I think they have made it to where it is easier with the more people you have and less running around, because a lot of people get bored of training. This isn't that. They know a lot of people, especially casuals, just want to hop on and sit with their friends and kill zombies. And I think that's more what this is catered to. I've had plenty of duo or trio gameplay, and it has been fun, it has been great, and it has been easy to get high rounds. It's way more doable than in previous games, and it takes a lot less time. Now, I know a lot of this has to do with how it's, you know, not the same in the sense where you're always online, you're always on servers when you play, even on solo, whereas the old ones you're not. There's something about that, I can't remember what it is, but I think that has part of the reason why it doesn't take as long, but also for the fact that zombies just spawn in so fast. You know, that also might be a reason, and maybe more don't spawn. I don't know the statistics behind it. Even when you're not hoarding like crazy, you can get high round so fast in this game. Whereas in the old games, you're not getting high round unless you grind out a lot of time. And a lot of people don't have the time. It's more fitting, not more fitting, it's more acceptable for people like casuals to, it just works better for casuals. They can hop on and still get the enjoyment of getting a high round, getting a big number, getting a lot of kills and feeling accomplished, and also not taking 15 hours. You know, especially with their friends. For example, me and 2 of my buddies, a 3-player game, we got to round 100 in 3 hours. That's just not even possible in the older Call of Duties. It's just not. And I feel like that's a big thing about it. Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 3, that's just not going to happen. And maybe there's situations where it is, but I feel like for the most part, that's not happening. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can say the same for solo, like getting 100 on, I don't know, Mob of the Dead sounds pretty miserable right now, and it literally is. It's not even so much as a skill thing as it is a wow, this is boring and tedious thing. Now, I know there is obviously skill involved, and I, for one, have not been around 100 on Mob of the Dead, but it's more so the fact that I just don't want to dedicate that much time anymore. You have to be very technical, and you have to put up a lot of time, and like I said a minute ago, it's tedious compared to Black Ops 6, where there's so many ways to actually make it happen and stay entertained. You have the addition of score streaks, you have all the different equipment and tactical drops, which are all actually very usable, very good things to have. The field upgrades, you have the weapon mods, all sorts of different ways that help you get there faster and kill the zombies quicker. And it also keeps you more engaged. If you were just sitting there with your pack-a-punched ray gun and you had a horde of super sprinters and 5 manglers and an abomination, and you had no gums and you had nothing, like it sounds awful. It just sounds awful because it wouldn't kill this and that if you didn't have augments. Like, they know what they're doing when they make these games, is basically what I'm trying to say. I know a lot of people don't like it. The way they made this game is perfect for how it should be. I'm not saying let's say it's the perfect zombies game, but I think kind of the formula they have is really good, if that makes sense. I don't know, I don't want to talk in circles and I don't want to bore you guys, but I think you get the idea. It doesn't really matter because casually playing this game is fun. Camo grinding, calling cards levels, high rounds, all that. Plain and simply, it's just more fun. And I cannot wait what else to see this game might have to offer. We may be getting 1 more map. We may be getting 2. I don't know. Would they even do something like Zombie Chronicles? I don't know. They're probably saving that for Black Ops 7. Let's be real. From bringing back the ice staff and letting multiple people use it, which is great and fun, to Citadel, where you have these swords, and they are actually really fun to use, especially with friends. I do like the map designs in this game. I haven't really disliked any of them. Anytime I play a map more, I like it more. I really don't dislike any of these maps. Like, there's maps in old games where I don't like them. I don't like Moon. I don't like Shangri-La. And I think certain maps are just boring. In this game, I don't really have that. Now, there's definitely maps where I'm like, there's a lot of area I'm not using. Terminus, for example. I'm not using a lot of the map, and I'm like, I feel kind of bad because I'm only staying in one spot, like one main area, and I'm not taking, but like the map's so big. Is that a lot of empty space? I don't know, but I'm gonna stop yapping here. I've been doing it for too long. It's just what I think. I really like what they're doing. I like what they did with Black Ops 6 Zombies. It's been a blast. I think it's really fun. Let me know what you guys think. This has been more of a deeper dive than I'm used to, but I just wanted to share my thoughts on it because I see too many people disrespecting this game. And I already know in a couple years, I'm gonna say, well, guys, all right, was Black Ops 6 Was that underrated? Or hold on, I think this game might be a little underappreciated. It's so annoying seeing those. This is another little rant. In a couple years, everyone's gonna be like, hold on guys, it wasn't that bad. And it's like, well no, because it was good. And people say that about everything. Like, it gets so annoying. But I'm gonna stop yapping. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you all next time.